This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World. I'm SeptumSin. Today, we're going to show you what they got. Of course, this is, our releases. And as per usual, we're going to up the ante. But the first thing is no Gundam. But we do have something that you might like. Alright, well, for those of you sticking around, of course, you should know the drill. After I show you what's coming out, I talk about a few of the things that sparked my interest or lit my interest. It was me and Jake's interest. But once the schedule allows, we'll be back together doing this face-to-face, Skype, whatever. Again, it's just, unfortunately, we're kind of not able to.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
But one thing that was told to me, I really wish you'd bring that back, was when I do discuss things, if I have a copy of previous releases or material, to show it off. Because again, this is a pickup channel and a physical media channel practically, so it's cool to see different versions. So that's what I'll do. So what you're going to do is you're going to see this version here and that version there. So the first one is going to be Adaptation. So I've got the DVD. This is an Oscar winner. It is a Nicolas Cage film and probably one of his best. Right up there with Leaving Las Vegas. Amazing performance by Cage and just an amazing film in general. So it's getting another Blu-ray release. So it remains in print. There's a lot of cool special features. This one has some decent special features. Well, not really. Now I'm looking at it, it looks like there's a ton of special features on here, but most of it's just like animated menus. I'm like, yeah, this was an early release on DVD. But I really liked Adaptation. I may or may not upgrade. I haven't decided yet on that one. One I know I'm going to be upgrading is the Back to the Future series. Now, I have the DVD release. Now, this trilogy release, it came out a while ago. I mean, a long while ago. This 4K release has new special features. Yes, one's not included in this. So if you have this version and you want to have your Back to the Future up to date, I like the box art. I'm hoping that they make this even cooler. I got the Best Buy Steelbook release. Yes, there is a Steelbook release, and you'll see that eventually as a pickup. But it's been about time for me. Some of you might have gotten the Blu-ray release. That, to me, is a little bit iffier because the Blu-ray release has it doesn't have quite as many special features, but it still has most of what you get on the 4K. So really, you're paying more for just the 4K transfers. So for me, upgrading from DVD to 4K is a no-brainer. For somebody, if I had the Blu-ray release, I probably wouldn't be upgrading. I'm just going to be honest. It's sort of like the Goonies. If I hadn't had the old, first-run DVD release, I would not have upgraded to the 4K. One I thought was interesting that got upgraded, that's getting an upgrade, is Haunt, which is a Shudder film. I really liked this. I bought this cheap, this DVD pretty darn cheap. And essentially, you know those haunted houses that people go to? They're just they call them haunts. And this group goes to this haunt, and it turns out to be a little bit more real than they had expected. So maybe like the houses October built in some ways. This one is a little bit creepier, and I don't know, I like it. It's imaginative, it's cool, it's fun. I need to watch this again. That's how much I like it. I'm glad to have it in my collection. So next up is another upgrade. Now, that one I'm probably going to leave on DVD. I don't see any reason for it. This one I may actually go and upgrade, because this is a really old DVD release, which is the remake of The Haunting. I just finally decided to order some of the Dark Castle remake upgrades, and this one is on my list. They're getting a 4K remaster. It's going to be really freaking awesome. I mean, this is kind of as plain as you can get, but they did have a little booklet here, which is kind of neat. I mean, it's not much, but still. And the original movie is, by the way, awesome. I also have that. But again, this is pretty early DVD, so getting a 4K upgrade, that would be pretty darn awesome. I really like the film about these people who think they're going for a sleep experiment, and it turns out not so much. So, our next one up that we'll be talking about is the Home Alone collection. Not this. So, and it's not the 4K release either. Barnes & Noble is doing a specialty release, Blu-ray release, re-release for some films, and Disney's line. And yes, Home Alone is now owned by Disney because of the Fox thing. So they're doing a Home Alone 1, a Home Alone 2, and then a double release. So this is why I'm not going to be doing it, because I've got them both on Blu-ray already here, plus 3, 4, and I believe the 5th-ish film. Now, 3, 4, and 5 are on DVD. Maybe if they come out with a set with all of them on Blu-ray and it's smaller, I might. But this is just so cool. I mean, the plastic's degraded over the years, but I really do like it. I open it up every year. It's just fun. It really is. So one I don't have and one I may get because I really like it is Dozer. I mean, I've heard a lot of fun stuff about Dozer. Seeing it up on Blu-ray, I might just have to get, and I might just have to bite the bullet and get it. I've added it to my wish list. It's on my want list. So hopefully, in the future, when I get some money together, I will go grab it. I did indulge myself a little bit, not much, just like a little. So maybe this will be a indulgence when it goes down in price. Now another one, getting a 30th anniversary release, is Mickey's Christmas Carol. Another one going to that Barnes & Noble. This is my copy. It's a DVD. I'm not sure I'm going to upgrade to Blu-ray on this. This is a direct Disney release. It's not a bad release. It's got a couple of extra like cartoons. It's got a collectible lithograph inside. Let me see if I can show it. I mean, this is one of the ones that you bought it on. If you bought it on Prime originally for their digital, you actually didn't get the. They took it away in time for the holidays so that you could buy it again. Say not very much there, but there's a lithograph you get if you had my copy there. So that's kind of cool. It's a classic. I love it, and I love the song. There's a rock and roll version of it that I really like listening to this time of year. It's just, to me, it's a classic. This is probably my favorite version of the Scrooge tale. So another thing I thought was of interest, again, Miracle on 34th Street is getting that Barnes & Noble specialty release. I actually think this is a Fox. Yep, this is a Fox title, so it's a Disney title now. It's kind of an anti-consumerism thing where Santa ends up going to work at a store, and he feels like he's Santa. You're not quite sure, and he ends up in a court battle of whether he's Santa or not. This one's a great addition itself. It has a lot of special features. It has the old black and white version, and it has the colorized version. So it's kind of cool. It does have some pretty awesome things, including the old school Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade documentary, which is awesome. Yep, it is really cool. So I don't know if I would upgrade it for Blu-ray, but maybe. Again, these had to go on sale big time. Another one that's coming out, same concept, and I will definitely not be upgrading, is the Muppets Christmas Carol. As you can see, I've already got the Blu-ray release, so I'm not going to upgrade a Blu-ray release for a Blu-ray release with only a limited number of special features more. And this has a good number of special features on it. So it's something that a lot of people do find it as a classic. It's not easy being Scrooge Special Edition. I'm going to be taking that out, but you know. So you got a bunch of stuff here. Back when they put the digital copy on a disc. I like the Muppets. There's something about them that's enjoyable. Though this was not something I watched growing up. I know that some people have and they've enjoyed it. And I enjoy it. I enjoy putting it in every so often. So a couple of ones are getting, a couple more Ghibli films are getting those Steelbook releases. My Neighbor Totoro and Princess Mononoke. Now, I've got a couple of those. I got like the old Fox one, and the reason why I've got this and I keep this is because this has a different dub track. Yes, a different dub track than the Disney version. But this also, I believe, does not have the Japanese on it. So I also have this version of it. And Disney did a number of these releases, but then G-Kids ended up getting a hold of it and releasing. So, you know, it is what it is. All right. And I've got this as well. This I don't think has anything different for the dub track. A very good story. So, you know, I really enjoyed it. Probably my first real exposure to Ghibli, knowing what Ghibli was. Technically, Kiki's was my first, but I didn't realize it was an anime at the time. This, however, I did. I watched it on an old ratty VHS tape version. And somebody copied for me. That was really crappy and glitchy. This, however, should not be because it's a Blu-ray version. And so are those, by the way. Alright, one that is big. It's coming out is Enegama Collection. Back in print. Sentai is putting it back in print again. It has 3 covers there. So this is my original Enegama. And Enegama is about this like 10-year-old guy. He's a wizard. And he ends up teaching at this girls' school. All these girls kind of fall in love with him and all that stuff. It's kind of weird. But I love this set. It's just such a cool set. And that's all the first series. So then it kind of goes off the rails with this one, which is also an out-of-print version of the, because back when I think Funimation still had it. And this is the, yeah, I know it's Funimation's Save Edition. This one kind of went off the rails. I loved this series, and for the longest time, I couldn't get online because that was the only way you could get it back in those days. They wouldn't finish the translation, so you couldn't get the last episodes. So I was glad when this came out because I could finally see the whole series, and it's very enjoyable. It's very weird, but it is very enjoyable. And then, of course, there's the 2 specials, the spring and summer special, which are included, by the way, on the discs. Here, see, discard. So, let's talk about some Halloween stuff. Pumpkinhead is getting a steelbook. For those of you who haven't got it yet, this is your chance. This is kind of cool. I have the Scream Factory release. I'm already happy with that. It's a good release. I mean, it's got a reversible cover. It's about basically a guy who ends up summoning this creature in order to get revenge on people who end up killing his son by accident. There are a lot of films for Pumpkinhead, and I've got all of them, but the first 2 were released by Scream Factory, which, you know, derivative of Shout Factory. Really good quality release. So I'm pretty sure this one will be too. Well, why don't we talk more about those Barnes & Noble's releases? Because the Santa Claus is getting its trilogy and individuals re-released on the Blu-ray. Again, one I don't feel like I need, but if you don't have this, and this is a pretty good Tim Allen performance. He accidentally shocks Santa Claus, causes him to fall off the roof. Santa dies. And then he has to take Santa's place. So this one really is the best one out of the group, the Santa Claus. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother showing the insides. It's just those basic DVD Blu-ray covers that Disney puts out. They don't do much in the disc art. There's the Santa Claus 2, where he's got to seek out a bride. And then there's the awkward one. With Martin Short in it. So, you know, it's not terribly, it's not terrible. It's a decent one. I enjoy watching the first one especially, but they're a good trilogy to watch. It's enjoyable. If you don't have it, I would swoop by some Barnes & Noble and get it. And finally, Your Name is getting another Steelbook release. If you missed the first Steelbook, or you didn't get this version, like I did, Your Name is probably one of the greatest anime movies out there. It is an amazing film. This one kind of pops open like this. As you can see, it has its own book. And it's got some art. It's an art book, essentially. And for the plot, there's these two, this teenage boy and this teenage girl, they end up swapping bodies for some reason, and they're not quite sure why. And they end up finally realizing what's going on, and maybe their love can last, or maybe it's too late. So, and this is also pretty darn nice. Your Name is probably one of the better movies that we've had. And I want to say we did it for Inside Movies Galore, which, yeah, it would make sense. It's a really awesome one. We had an anime month one month, which was really great. So finally we have Tremors, Shrieker Island, which is the newest of the Tremors films. I'm kind of sad because I thought for a while I had my nice steelbook with all of them, but it's missing one. I ain't upgrading to get a steelbook with all of them again. I'll probably get it eventually, not at full price. I didn't like the last one, so I gotta wonder. But the first 5 I liked, so there's a good chance that I'll like the 7th one. Gosh, 7 films. But I got all 6 films that have been released up to this point, and the TV series. Out of all that, I only disliked one of the films, so maybe this one will be just as fun. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. Of course, subscribe and share. But most important thing of all is let me know, what of these things do you think you would like? Did you see something in the slideshow that you're going, I've got to get it. I've got to get it now. That I didn't cover? Let our people know down below what you thought was really awesome, and that way we can continue to spread the love as we go. There are some Criterion ones around. I know Jake would love to talk about those. So we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.